streaming, so the people on YouTube should be joining as well. Hello, amazing hackers on YouTube. Hello, amazing hackers. Well, let me change the privacy here because I can see only members can view that on YouTube, and that's not the point, of course. I want to do this public. There we go. So, hello, everybody. I can see my good friends are here as well. I can recognize some people, so thank you very much for being here, friends. First of all, I want to talk about, of course, the job that everybody knows, pen tester. That's probably the most cliche job you can have, pen testing. And I think it helps a lot if you have some general experience in pen testing. Don't know if there's any opinions on that. Hello, Mr. Try to Exploit. How are you doing?
Hey Rat, what's up, my guy?
I'm doing good, my friend. Is it okay if I make you a co-host today?
No problem at all.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So, what I wanted to say about getting a job as a pen tester is I wanted to give you guys some general tips, because getting a job is not easy. You're going to be facing, first of all, the wall of getting resumes out. That's the first thing. Getting the job offers, that's important. Then you're going to have to get the job interview. You're gonna have to sit opposing to somebody who's gonna ask you some questions. Also, not easy. So you're gonna have to pass some barriers. And usually, there's a lot of people who apply for jobs. And especially now with Corona, the job market seems to be drying up a little bit. But don't be fooled by that. It's just a very temporary dip, if a dip at all. Because, in my opinion, there's still plenty of jobs to be had. We just have to find them. And the problem is finding a good job, in my opinion. Finding that company that desperately needs people. Because if you look at the big companies like Deloitte in in my country, they're always looking for new people in every single field that they have people in. They're looking for pen testers, they're looking for QA testers, they're looking for managers. It's and there's also this company that I used to work with, Eurofence in Belgium. They're always looking for QA testers. I also think it's part of a, are you willing to work in a field that you're not comfortable in, that you maybe didn't study in? Like, for example, I used to be a programmer when I finished my studies. I did programming for several years, and then I went into QA testing because I went into every single advertisement I saw. I was like, oh, testing TVs, that sounds like fun, because my job consisted of testing the interfaces between the cam and the TV. Not relevant anyway, but that's the first part, is scatter your resume everywhere. Make a public resume on a public website, make it SEO available, scatter it on LinkedIn. Keep your LinkedIn freaking updated, guys. Every single certificate that you get, every single achievement that you do, every single volunteering that you do, add it to your LinkedIn. That is extremely important, because if you don't add it to your LinkedIn, you're gonna it's, well, for me at least, it's gonna be different. I'm gonna change this for real quick. If you don't scatter your resume, how are they gonna find you? And besides scattering your resume, I think it's also extremely important that you just scatter around your general presence. Like, hello, hey, I am Wesley. This is my blog. I've been solving hack the box machines. I've been solving this, that, and that. Make write-ups. Just help the community in general. Add all of that to your resume, to your LinkedIn. Because I'm gonna tell you a secret, LinkedIn is full of headhunters. You probably already know this, but guys, the job offers that you get on a daily basis, if your LinkedIn profile is up to date, it's incredible. If you have a couple of years of experience, headhunters are gonna be all over that. So, another thing I wanted to say is the job interview itself, because that is not an easy thing as well. Getting a job, if you send out your resume and eventually that resume, somebody does invite you, well, then that's a whole different thing. Then you have your interview, but you have to know certain things. In my opinion, it's very important to know things like the OWASP top 10, especially like what it is. What does the OWASP top 10 consist of? That's something they're probably gonna ask you. Like, can you name me something from the OWASP top 10? Doesn't mean you have to know it by heart, of course, but that's important. Something about API testing seems important as well. Your basic things like Nmap scanners. Do you know your Nmap properly? Do you know what Nicto is? Do you know what Nuclei is? All of these things might come up in a job interview. At least these are things that I would ask personally if I had somebody sitting in front of me. But also more personal questions. And you always have to think about these personal questions is what are you good at and what are you bad at? And they're gonna ask you what you're good at, and of course everybody is some people are gonna doubt that, some people are gonna be hesitant at telling what they're good at. And that only tells the people in front of you that you haven't really thought about yourself. So if you know your good properties, that tells the people that you are working on yourself. If you know your bad properties, that also knows that they're working on yourself. But don't tell them things like, hey, I'm so clumsy. I continuously break equipment and I've cost my previous company over $15,000 in broken keyboards. Of course, you shouldn't be telling them that. You should be telling them things like, okay, so I am somebody who is very persistent. I work very hard towards my goal, but that also means that sometimes I work a little bit too hard and I get a little bit too much wrapped up in what I'm doing. Now, that's it for the job interview for a pen tester. If you want to be a pen tester, I do think certain certificates are required these days. And the problem is that a lot of companies have started to see these certificates as, oh, you really know what you're doing if you get things like OSCP, even though that's not necessarily the case. I'm not saying that you don't know what you're doing if you have OSCP, don't get me wrong, but I know about cheating in the exam that's happening. I know that people paying other people just to take the exam, and I'm like, what's the whole point of that? Because you're only cheating yourself, of course. And there's this tip I've been wanting to tell everybody. I don't know if you guys have the same feeling, but I always say that if you're looking for a job, I know that might be difficult to find, but you should always be very careful about your job as well, that you don't just take any job out there. You should be very careful that you and the job are a good match, that you and the team are a good match. I always, whenever I have a job interview, I try to at least talk to somebody from the team itself, because of course a manager can come in and you know how these things go. A job description is gonna be beautiful and perfect, and the moment you actually get into the job, it's gonna be completely different than what they described. I think you guys have probably all seen this before. So I always try to at least talk to one of the team members in private as well to get a little bit of a feeling of how they work, what kind of methodology they use. That's important to me. I've been full disclosure, I've been a QA tester for most of my life. I don't have a pen tester job. I don't want one. I wanted one. That's why I got my OSCP, because I wanted a pen tester job. Nobody wanted to hire me. I got my OSCP. People still don't want to hire me. Then they did bug bounties. They still didn't want, well, they wanted to hire me after bug bounties, but then I just started my own company and did pen testing that way. So yeah, I've been known to be stubborn and I do things my way. And it's been working out good for me, by the way. I love doing what I'm doing, and for me, I just made my own job in cybersecurity. There's a lot of jobs that you can create yourself as well, and I didn't know about how this all of this works because, of course, and like for example, I've been publishing things on Medium. It turns out that in India you can't get ad revenue from Medium or something like that, which is really strange in my opinion, and I don't like that because that doesn't give you the opportunity to earn anymore, which is really stupid. Anyway, that's besides the point. What I've been trying to say is what I've been doing for a job is I've been keeping my day job, of course, but I've also been trying to set up multiple revenue streams like YouTube, and I also talk at companies. I do pen testing besides my work. And I do all of this because I think that a normal pen testing job can be quite boring. Like, we've had somebody on the show before that was a pen tester, and she did give me good hope that pen testing is more than just following a normal methodology. But still, there's a challenging element in finding your customers as well. That's what a lot of people don't think about. I'm gonna talk a little bit about starting your own company because it's also a bit of getting a job in cybersecurity. And one of the biggest elements there is you have to be a huge marketer because before you can get your customers, you have to think about how to get them in. It's just like that. That's a part of the job. You have to be technically adept because you still have to be able to do your job. And on top of that, you have to be a marketeer as well because you want to get the customers in somehow. Not easy at all. What I do, or what I used to do, is I went to neighborhood shops, neighborhood stores, and I offered them like a free pen test. I gave them some pretty good results, and then they usually would hire me for a full pen test. But I think maybe it's also opportune if somebody else has any ideas how to get customers. I don't know if any of you guys have your own pen testing companies or any cybersecurity companies for that matter. What I what I wanted to also say is that of course pen testing isn't the only thing. I see that we have some YouTube comments as well right here. Um, my resume looks over bloated if I put on everything. Well, that's true. If you do put on everything, your resume might look over bloated sometimes. But I'm talking mostly about your LinkedIn because if your LinkedIn profile looks big, looks filled, looks beautiful, that's gonna be very helpful. And your biggest achievement should go on your profile in your resume, of course. My resume doesn't contain every single certificate I ever got because there's just way too many, but the most important ones are on there. Most of them are on my LinkedIn, but even there, I didn't put everything up because there are just some that are minute or not even recognized or things like that. There's no point in putting them up if they're not recognized, of course. That's something that's very true. Thanks for that point, Mr. Yoshi. Aryan Sharma says, I literally don't know. It's been 6 months doing cybersecurity. I did before I skipped the studies as I have to do job for money issues. Now the problem is I don't know. I have to learn Windows, Linux and all. Don't know where to start. I feel I know everything, but I think I don't. Well, that's a tough question to be honest, because a lot of people like me, we are lucky. We are in a situation where I have a steady day job. I have the luxury to experiment with all of this because if I didn't have a day job, a steady day job, I'd be focusing all of my attention usually into finding pen testing clients. I would have to get my bread on the table somehow. That's a very important thing. So good that you mentioned that. And it's really important that also if you want to get a pen testing job or anything like that, that you study somehow for it. There is no school studies that you can do, but you have to do some self-study for it. And my free time is usually used for that type of studying. I don't know how much free time you have because you said you skipped your studies, so I don't know if you're still in college, but that seems to be that maybe if you're in college, you study and you might have some free time. You might want to use that free time to actually go for some cybersecurity studies, or maybe incorporate that in what you're studying right now. I don't know if that's a possibility, but maybe you can take up a subject related to cybersecurity. Robert Lean says you can hack the box to try and get a job. That's true. But I don't know if anybody has been successful doing that. Please feel free to let me know. I would love to hear from you. I haven't found much people that have had success with that. Though there are people who find success with it, of course, but for me, I think I haven't found anybody yet. So Green Monk says he just got his first internship. That's something we should celebrate, my friends. I think we should get some cheese and we should have a beautiful celebration. Good job, Green Monk. Little Lionheart says, should I put certificate of completion on my resume or just a recognized certificate? Well, it depends because if you have them and if it doesn't make your resume look over bloated, then I don't see a reason why not. If you can put things on your resume that don't make it look over bloated, then why not? Just make sure that your resume stands out a little bit because if you do it in a standard Word document, you just put standard text in there, that's not gonna stand out. You also don't want to make it too pretentious because I've seen resumes where it was like beautifully designed graphically, but the content was crap because there were like spelling errors in there, spelling mistakes. That's one thing you want to do, by the way, guys. If you have a resume, have two people proofread it for spelling mistakes and use a spell checker just to be sure. It's something that I learned the hard way. I put some bad resumes up there, but it's okay. Anyway, I also see here up and study and yeah, study and try hack me is also something that's very important, of course, because you can get some real experience. But the thing is, if you do study on things like try hack me, don't think it will get you too much experience. The thing on try hack me is it's more like network hacking and getting a foothold is fine, but usually if you're doing a pen testing appointment, if you're doing something like that, you get to your foothold, but you never get to do your privilege escalation. So don't rely too much on that. One thing you could do, and you could easily do, is look for those Black Friday sales, and usually some of those certificates go for very cheap at that moment. I bought my Burp Suite certificate for $8, and I plan to take it next weekend. So that certificate is definitely a plus. Also, I know that most people in like if you for me 4,000 what was it, like 2,000 or 3,000 euros for off-site training, it's expensive. It's very expensive. So I was very lucky to get my work to pay for some of my certificates as well. And this might be a plan. I don't say it's a great plan. I'm not gonna judge about that, but you might try to look for some QA or another company which is testing related, software development related. You might look for a company which offers training budgets which you can spend freely or training budgets that offer cybersecurity in it because then you can grow in your role in your job as well. That's a big plus. That's something that I've had the advantage of being able to do. I have a big training budget, so I can pretty much choose the trainings that I want to do. I can choose the software that I need. It's useful for me, but of course, that's not applicable everywhere. Some companies don't have a security path available, and of course, and I think in these day and age, people aren't meant to stay in the same company for years. It used to be that you worked in the company from the age of 18 until the age of that you retired, but that's no longer the case at all, in my opinion. The average person goes through 5 or 6 companies in his lifetime, even. So, in my opinion, getting that certificate is useful, especially if you're getting it in company time and company money. Anyway, that's it. I wanted to talk a little bit about other aspects of cybersecurity as well, because of course you have pen testers, but you also have SOC analysts. You know, the cybersecurity analysts who keep everything safe and secure. I've been offered those jobs before as well. Anybody have any experience with that? Okay, apparently not. If you want to speak, by the way, feel free to request us to be speaker. We would love to hear from you. If you have any experience as a pen tester job or as an SOC analyst, I would love to hear from you guys. The SOC analyst job is something that's also very interesting in my opinion, but it's a lot more blue team related. That brings me to my second point. Do you want a blue team or a red team job? That's something that you're gonna have to think about, but not too hard. Again, everything cybersecurity related, like I said in the beginning, you're gonna have to be polyvalent. So, especially in these days, I'm gonna give you guys another secret that it's not a secret, it's something that I've just been noticing, something I've been seeing in companies, is that all developers are getting much more polyvalent in security. And so I see we have a speaker here, Mr. Rami. Let's see what he has to say. Hello, Rami. Good to see you. How are you doing?
Hey, Karat, how are you?
Good, thank
I'm all
you.
good, buddy. Yeah, I was just going to sleep and missed your space really, and I found you just launched one and then joined. Speaking of red teams and blue teams, I noticed like most guys apply for blue team jobs are like overweight the red team jobs there. So like there are a lot of blue team jobs. Like in a company, you may find maybe 2 pen testers or one, and 6 or 10 of blue teams guys. So like honest, most guys apply to a blue team job and then like suck analyst 1 or 2, I don't know. And after they gain a lot of experience, they move to a red team job. Like, that's why not.
That's interesting. I love that you say that. Thanks for that input because what I've been noticing in companies is also something like a purple team more. Something like you say, the blue teamers moving towards the red teamers and even the developers learning a lot of security. It's like you need to be a defender and an attacker at once these days. And if you're that, the more polyvalent you are, they say those who adapt survive, and I live by that rule, to be honest. Have you seen any of the purple team experience yet?
Not yet, really. I was like, just listen to experts a lot. Like, yeah, like getting experience without being in the place, you know? Listening to like other guys doing experiences so much like informable for me.
All right, so there's this guy called Daniel Meisler, and I like to follow him because he speaks a lot about these things, and he talks about building, attacking, and defense. The bat pyramid: build, B, A, attack, D, defense. The bat pyramid, and basically he talks about blue teamers who are defenders and red teamers who are attackers, and then you have the purple teamers who are defenders. They know things that also attackers know. But then you also have the orange teamers who are the builders that change based on the attacking knowledge. So you have people who build your application, but are also a bit of a red teamer. And then you have your green teamers, which are basically your builders that know a lot about defense as well. And those definitions, like he says, red teams are internal or external entities dedicated to the testing the effectiveness of a security program by emulating the tools and techniques of likely attackers in the most realistic way possible. That's very attack oriented, of course. Blue teamers, they say blue teams should be distinguished from the standard security teams in most organizations, as most security operation teams do not have a mentality of constant vigilance against attacks, which is something I love that he says that, because if you think about it, no, there is not one developer who constantly thinks about defending his code. He's more about, oh, let me just write my code, let it run, make sure my unit test is running, and he might think about security, but it's not the start of everything, and that's something that I've been trying to change as well. By the way, I'm developing a course which aims at security architects, analysts, and developers, because I think we should build in security from the bottom up. That's important to me. Now, I love this definition of so many different types of teams because I think it demonstrates the fluency of a hacker these days. a hacker is much more than just somebody who sits in the basement attacking random targets, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's more than an IT thing. Yeah,
Definitely.
and
Sorry.
yeah, like and a lot of guys like yeah, and knowing what to do like doesn't mean a lot of guys do it. Like they know like you don't have to do this, but you still do it. Like that's the importance of cyber awareness, especially for developers.
Definitely, yeah. Awareness is a big thing, and I think it's also like, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but we can make cybersecurity a much bigger thing than it is at the moment. Right at now, at this moment, I think cybersecurity is important, taken into account, but not nearly as much as it could be. And I think we can create jobs for ourselves in a way, but I think it's not easy, of course. I think cybersecurity is a very fast growing industry, but there's also like a huge skill gap in that I think as cybersecurity companies arise, they should be willing to train hackers as well. Like take in people who are interested, train them, and take a risk on them. Because of course, if I take you in and I train you for 6 months and you turn out to be somebody who's not good at it, that's a problem for me as a company. But I think people should be willing to take that risk. To be honest, I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, that's great. Like because like they gain experience from the inside, and that's much better. Like experience from a little life, it's you can't get it like anywhere, and that's a plus for you. Like the more experience you get, the less troubles you made. And there's no cyber like security, like they don't have like attacks anything like this. Like, but it's more like getting less attacks and getting better every day, and the team getting better. And yeah, that's it.
Definitely. Thanks for your feedback. Really appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Hello,
And also,
Ganesh. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Hello, Ganesh. How are you doing, my friend?
Hi, Uncle Rod. I'm good. How are you? Thanks for asking.
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, that's Ganesh. I remember you, buddy.
Hi, Rami. Hi, nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you. New faces here.
Likewise, I remember you as well. Good having you back, my friend.
Yeah, good to be here.
Do you have anything to what's your opinion on cybersecurity as a fast-growing industry? Do you think we have enough jobs, or do you think we should create more jobs, or is there anything else you'd like to say?
Of course, it's a large space. You can get a job very easily, but it completely rely upon your skills. Mm, um, but getting a job in cybersecurity is not like you imagine like doing certifications and all, but it's completely relying upon skills. It's what I think.
Definitely, and a lot of people have been talking about the certifications. Like if you get a free certification, that's also valid, of course. You can just look up a free certification. I know there's not a lot, but and if you have to get a paid certification, to be honest, if you really want to work at a company, I'd go for CompTIA. That I know
That's
that
true.
it might be a weird saying, but CompTIA is very company oriented, and I'm not sure, but I think the Department of Defense security members also need to have it. I'm not sure. And it's also only $370, so why not, right?
Yep. So, of course, it, certification also matters in sometimes. In some cases, like I have to do a certifications. Even though getting a job in cybersecurity really helps. If you're focusing on pen testing, I could say you could do some bug bounties and get some profile. Be active in this media, and you will be able to get a job hand on very easily.
Definitely. And like to be honest, the certificate CompTIA is only $270. I see 90 minutes, so why not, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
hello Matthew. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm kind of on the fence on this topic, certs versus no certs. I say that because like one of my current manager has no certs, and he's I would say, very advanced and very skilled in red teaming, penetration testing, security assessments, code reviews, the whole nine. I think getting a certificate is a good way to get your foot in the door and get you past a lot of the like the silly HR filters. But really being eager to learn and continuously learning, kind of getting uncomfortable, learning different environments, cloud, Active Directory, Linux, Mac, the whole nine. As long as you're continuously learning, I think you'll have a lot of success getting a job and keeping a job. There's a lot of good material out there from URAT and from others that have a lot of good material for training and for staying kind of up to date on stuff. But yeah, like I said, I think getting a cert is a good way to get your foot in the door, but I don't think it's the end all be all. Because I've known people who have gone through quote unquote cert factories where they've gotten certs and they're really none the wiser. I mean, so it's almost effectively useless. And I know a lot of jobs, like you guys were saying, especially DoD and stuff like that, require it for particular things. So it's a good way to get your foot in the door, but it's not the end all be all.
Definitely agree. Thanks a lot for that. And for me, it's
Yes, and it's true. Like if you're talking about like issues in cybersecurity, one of the most issues is the gatekeepers, the guys, like it's really the gatekeepers. And as you said, Matthew, like you said, like it's not necessarily getting a certificate to be like more skilled, and just like your boss is so skilled and good at team and stuff. And yeah, like do you remember Ankarat when we had like a lady and she landed her first job in cybersecurity as a red teamer, like member, and with no stress, like she got zero stress, nothing.
yeah.
But she did a lot of write-ups and blogs, and she participated in love capture the flags and even I think in DEF CON. So like she made her fingerprint in the way, so that was a plus. And when she was passing the interview, they asked her like, "Are you willing to get and like certificate? I don't know, OCP or something." And of course, they're gonna say yes, like he got the job, and the thing is, you're going to get that certificate, but with their money, because they landed a job, and that's a plus thing. And like in cybersecurity, you just gotta like be passionate about it. Like it's moving so fast. Like maybe someone like feels unreactive when talking about cyber and it's so bad, but like with time, things change so fast, and he can like from zero and be so better and relative, like talking so normal with guys talking about cyber, and just gonna keep with the training, practice, and love guys like just talk, hack certificates, hack a lot of stuff just to gain free access and practice their skills. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. That will also help. That will help you answer if the interviewer has questions about cybersecurity, you'll be able to answer them because you've experienced them and capture the flags and hack the box. You've seen those scenarios, so it's definitely helpful, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really confident that the whole reason why I have my job now is because I was able to describe what Kerberos ticketing is, and I think that kind of took that into account when getting a job, because previously I was a software developer for a number of years and kind of caught the cybersecurity bug, but just being able to like explain stuff in somewhat technical detail and understand some of the underlying technologies, I think will help you also get the foot in the door as well.
Definitely. That's why, like, I have 7 years as general developer experience, general IT experience. It definitely helped me out for sure. And I see, Mr. Hacken, you also have a Hacken Kraken. Nice, I like that name. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good, thank you.
Yeah, it was just so I'm a security engineer, and I've been doing it for a few years, and I have found that having multiple certifications and degrees, it makes job hunting easier. Like Matthew said, get past the HR filter, but it's also, I think it's not necessary to be successful, but it is nice to see the rise of practical certifications with technical hands-on pieces to the certification itself. So instead of a multiple choice exam, you are expected to be able to perform the technical pieces that you would be doing in the workplace. And really, I find that CompTIA is starting to do that. And so is AWS with some of their certifications. They're moving away from just multiple choice to implementing things that help weed out those people who do things like certification warehouse or even brain dumps that they download from, all the nefarious sites. So it's nice to see that. I think certifications still have their place in our industry, and it's helpful to see that you're doing something with your time to improve, and it's something to show skill building versus just talking about it. But it's, like I said in the beginning, it's not necessary, but it definitely helps.
For sure. Like you say, like many technical fields have skills that are just transferable to cybersecurity. And I love that sentiment. Thanks a lot for your feedback. I really appreciate that. I
Sure.
see Rami, the other Rami, has also joined us. Welcome, Rami. How are you doing?
I am correct.
Hello, my friend. Now, if I say Rami, I can speak to two people.
Call me the dupe.
The
Rami the
dupe-
duplicate. Yeah.
Mr. Duplicate. All right.
Yeah, I just want to add the point basically. If you can't afford a certificate, I mean, having a blog, it helps a lot. And having a good CV also really get you shortlisted. The main target here is to get shortlisted in the job industry. Once you get shortlisted, you just work hard and you prepare yourself for the interview. Honest certificate is good, don't get me wrong. But nowadays, what they're looking for is practical. If you put back bounty, if you show that you actually landed some good bounties like big names, which is possible, you're definitely going to get shortlisted. That's what I just want to add, honestly. So certificate is good, but if you can't afford it, just work on yourself, and you're definitely going to land a role on the cybersecurity as a junior or as a normal information security. But that's all I wanted to add, to be honest with you. Thank you for the opportunity.
For sure, I totally agree with you, though. I don't think it's easy for everybody to just get a bounty, but even if you just try, you will be able to tell the people, like, I did this and I did that and I worked on this, and you will be able to tell a lot more than somebody who hasn't done anything. That's something that's important to me, and like I've heard a lot about practical skills tonight, but I think soft skills and presentation skills also matter a lot. Like, how can you present yourself against your interviewer? How can you set up like, hey, I am Wesley, this is me?
Yeah, that's the perfect point. I was just gonna mention like soft skills, communication stuff. Like they're just as the technical skills are important. Like also the soft skills are important because like if you can't communicate, you can't like explain this to your manager. You can't explain like when you need to buy or whatever. Like you need to, which you need your post to finance like. To your manager, so you need to explain stuff and make your point clear. You can talk with the like business guys, and you gotta be good. And also like in a business like terms, and you gotta be good like talking about return on investment, and soft skills are important. Like most guys in IT, like not especially cybersecurity, like introverts, like they don't talk a lot, and like it's hard sometimes, but it just like but like matter of practice. She's got to practice, talk with the mirror, whatever. Like for me, I don't talk a lot, like, but I'm good at the two sides. I'm good at social engineering. I can talk with guys like freely communicate. Like it's just a matter of practice. Really.
Definitely, and just dress well as well. I know it sucks that the society is aimed at people who dress well, but if you wear a dress suit and just a blazer, people will look at you extremely differently. Sorry, just wanted to add that. Sorry, go ahead, Ganesh. You wanted to say something as well.
I just wanted to add something which had been mentioned by Rami. Tadaga, I think, is this left right now. So, if you don't have any bug bounties as well, like, you're in the security field. So on a daily basis, you're trying to find some vulnerabilities. It might be a local hosted vulnerabilities or something you're working on a project. So the other way is for you to be add your skill to your for your CV could be right, or publishing some blogs on your own, like, staying active on contributing to the environment of you where you're working on, like, the cybersecurity space. So by writing some blogs and all, staying active, so that might be really helpful for to show your achievements as well. Even you cannot rely on bug bounties all the time, but at the same time, if you find a vulnerability and writing some blogs, that might help to outcome the fear as well as to present yourself, and that would be really helpful. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you very much for that feedback. Really appreciate it. Wanted to say before Ali, before I let you go, just real quick in the chat, somebody else who said start with an internship, show self-education. Doesn't have to be certification, just show some kind of self-education. Work the internship for 2 years to get favor of experience. Then it's easy. Also get any internship. Don't expect $1 billion internship. You want experience in the beginning, not money. And the key to being is learn to market yourself. Align what you know, what the responsibilities are. And a lot of these cert moguls fail in that area. If you can't sell yourself, then no amount of education will help you. SEO your LinkedIn as well. Network. Network is definitely a keyword for me as well. And job finding and interviewing are a skill on its own. I totally agree. Thank you very much for that feedback, Aman. Really appreciate that. The only thing is about the internships, it's not easy to find an internship. I've realized that for some people who have asked me, hey, can I find an internship? Help me, help me, help me. I don't know how. Sorry about that. Thank you, Ali. Go ahead.
Hi all. Actually, four things for adding from my side. The first one is regarding certification. Certification is not important, but it's added value, and also certification can shapes our knowledge, in my opinion. And the second one, so the certification can help us. The second one is regarding contributing to the open source projects like OS projects and other projects, and make some metadata about your knowledge and your experience and skills. And the third one is regarding bug bounty is not all cybersecurity. So right now, many people think if they have a bug bounty record or report, they can say, okay, we can success to find a job. But bug bounty is not all scope of cybersecurity. This is a big part of cybersecurity. And fourth thing is regarding resume and LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn profile is so important. For me, LinkedIn profile works well and helped me a lot to find a job in 2 companies. So I think have a clear and transparent LinkedIn profile, and also up to date, can help us a lot. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Really appreciate that. Thank you, LinkedIn. I've heard that a lot of this evening, and I think it's very important as well because a lot of the job offers I get come in via LinkedIn. So I definitely agree with you on that. Thank you. I see Abdel. Is that your name, Abdel? Sorry if I say that wrong. You wanted to speak as well.
Abdurrahman.
Ah, Abdullah. Sorry, I
الله
tried.
يسهل baby.
Good to meet you, my friend. How are you doing?
Nice, nice. I like your tweets and I think this very helpful and I like it first. That's the first. Second, when I study in cybersecurity and meet someone who know I study cybersecurity, so out of nowhere he said me, "Hey, you are study cybersecurity. I want to be hacker." I said, what should I do? I want to be hacker. I don't access banks database. I want money. I said, what should I do? You must learn Linux, must learn network architecture and Waze. You must learn a lot of things. This step is too far from you. He told me this is very boring and leave me alone.
Oh, that's not good.
This is funny. This is funny thing of cybersecurity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's great point, Ankara.
In object of certification, I think certificate tell us you can do something. You have a skills in technical something, but I didn't think it's very important.
definitely.
I think it's very important to have what can you do and do it.
Yeah, it's like certifications makes us all speak the same language. That's important to me as well.
Differently.
Like if I
Yeah, thank you, Abdulrahman.
Abdullah, sorry,
Yeah, and correct. Like, I want to take you back to a point, like about the internship. It's like a lot of guys ask, how can I get an internship? And it's like it's the most hard part in their life, right?
Mhm.
Like for me, like my level is I'm still beginner, and I'm proud, you know, I'm so proud. I'm still like I'm trying to master the foundations. Like if your foundations are weak and you just like cheated stuff, skipped stuff, one day you're gonna get back and like to the basics, and you're not gonna like go forward a lot. So I'm still in the you can not intermediate, but still the basic stuff. And I'm still mastering those things. Like so, it's Abdurrahman said it's like it's boring, but you know if when you talk about someone's cybersecurity, it's like that sexy field. You get hacked, but you get money by hacking people. You get the things.
Yeah.
But like every field has like that boring side where you got like like networking and like networking is so bad thing. And for the internships, sorry, Abdurrahman. I just want to tell you guys, like, just try to network, cause like as much as you can. Like for me, I'm still a beginner. Like if I want to apply to a job, I know like I can't get it. You know, I still gotta learn a lot of things. But I got like you can say network with someone who's like launching his company next year in Australia. It's a pen testing company, and like I'm gonna be like straightforward with you guys. What I did is like I was on Instagram just scrolling down, and I found his like account. He's like posting some cybersecurity stuff. So I entered his account. I like what he's posting. So I liked every goddamn posted like he posted there. I liked all of them, and he followed me. So I followed him back and started talking with him. Blah blah blah. How are you? Hey, and he said like he's going to launch a cybersecurity company next year, and like if you're willing to get like an internship or something, I'm sure I can grab something for you. So see, I got an internship like before I'm like I can do it. So just about network, just try to network as soon as possible, make blogs, like do a lot of things, like just here in Twitter, like it's not like Facebook and Instagram. Twitter is more professional, so just try to network, comment, I'll talk with people, and like that's the only way that you can get internships. It's just like a business. You just gotta network yourself with people.
Definitely, fully agree. Networking is very important. And it's like you help me, I help you, of course. That's what networking is all about. We help each other. And that's why I'm also so glad that I have like 42,000 family, you know. If I need help, I'm sure somebody can help me, and if they want help, I'm sure. I hope you guys see that as well. If anybody wants help, just tweet at me and I'm there for you. Um, I don't know, like, hello, Mr. Hagen. Like, wait, right, you've been on here as well. Mr. Hagen Kraken, sorry. How are you doing?
Good, good. That's one of the points that I wanted to make, right? So we've talked about certifications and education, bug bounties, and blogs, and everything that you can do, yourself. That self-sufficiency is crucial, critical, and so important as an analyst or an engineer or whatever your title is. But one of the main things is that when you network with people, you will have people who are willing to help, right? Especially in this field, I found that people are always willing to help. But don't forget to help others when you're in a position to do so. Even though you might feel like you don't know enough, or you don't have enough experience, or whatever the case is, don't forget that 5 years ago, 2 years ago, that was you, right? Reach out and offer to help people as well. If you seek Christ for help, or you see people who are really, really struggling, you can offer to help that person, however, right? Because you've gone and you are in the position that, these people are willing to kill for, they're dying to go to get where you're going, or they're dying to get where you are today. Reach out, offer to help, be a mentor and be the mentor that you wish you had back then. And if you did have it, even better, because now you have more experience to be an even better mentor to people. It doesn't matter what the experience level you have is, there's always someone who's going to have way, way more experience than you and way less. So you're always going to be somewhere in the middle, offer to help.
Exactly. And like for me, it doesn't matter how busy I am. I make time to help you guys. That's what matters to me a lot because I know you guys do the same for me as well. So that's what I love about the Red Pack. If anybody's in need, just tweet it and I'll retweet it and we'll help each other out. That's important to me. Um, anyway, Mr. Ganesh, you wanted to say something as well, my friend.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I just want to add one more thing. Haven't really got the proper opportunity to thank Uncle XS, he's so kind and he's like, I have my sincere gratitude to him. He helps all the community people. He encourages everyone. He's like a mentor to me. Through him, he's so down to earth, helping all the people who are into, who are really diving into the cybersecurity, encouraging them, giving the content, whatnot, his ideas, and I just really want to thank you for that exercise, right?
My pleasure. Thank you so much for all of your support. I really appreciate that.
And if you don't mind, Uncle Rat, I'd like to just mention, I'd like to first of all second that, but I also want to mention how I really love all the opinions that have been kind of brought to the table. I think that, as somebody, as some of you know from previous times that I've spoken, that, I have a deep history in mostly IT and sort of migrating into the cybersecurity space. You know, we have to remember why we're doing this. What our field is about, and it makes a lot more sense when you talk about certifications based, or skill based, or the lack of skill in certain fields, and it leaves a gap. It really comes down to that we are sort of on the other side of the black hat sort of thing, and and the nation states. The sort of the other side has people that are hacking all day long, all day, all week, all month, all year. And CTFs are great. They're a great training ground. They give you experience. and all the things to build the foundation of what you need. But at the end of the day, if you aren't simulating the kind of experience that the criminals or the nation states are coming with, then it's all for nothing. This every country around the world is noticing that they're looking for talent. It's not just talent; it's that you need to sort of just be as ahead of the game as you possibly can, and it's all about what you can do. And I think, in my opinion, one of the big issues that I've seen in the tech industry, not just the cybersecurity industry, but I think cybersecurity might be the biggest offender, is somebody mentioned earlier about gatekeeping. It's a huge problem because we have all these amazing smart people like the ones on this space right now. And what I noticed when I would hire for IT, and I would work with other people in IT, is all it takes, to excuse the language, but all it takes is one asshole to ruin it for everybody else. And you can stop someone's career in their tracks if you shoot them down before they even have a chance to start. And we lose so much talent because of that kind of thing. And we are in a state of our world right now where, hacking is a sexy job and everybody knows it. But, really at its core, it's about protecting the systems, not just for ourselves, but our children, our families, and the people around us. And we have to bring our A game. So that means bringing in as many people as we can, lifting other people up, so that they can be the best that they can be. And that's what employers ultimately are looking for as well.
Certainly, being the best you can be is something that's very important. That's something I always would look for as well. Is just who is standing in front of me? Is this person really wanting to give their everything, or are they just here because they need a job, like somebody like flipping burgers at McDonald's, just there because they need it really badly? That's not something that I would like in front of me, but if you're like the kind of person who's like, hey, I really, really want this job, then in that case, of course, I'd be more and more likely to hire you. But it's obvious, if you want the job or not. I can see it in people. Even if you tell me you really want the job, but if you don't want it, I can just see it in your eyes. You don't have to tell me that. And I think it's important that you have that in yourself as well, of course. Now, I don't know if anybody has anything else to add to the conversation.
Yeah, that was perfect what Brandon was saying. And I was gonna type down while I was talking, so to not forget. Well, I just remembered. Thanks God. Yeah, it's about two points. So the first point is do not work for anybody, and the second point is do not surround yourself with the toxic people. So first, when someone is applying for a job, I think you we brought this point in the first anchor out. Apply for someone. If you're let's say I'm blind from Brandon. Brandon, I'm just saying, it's just an instant. And Brandon, he's not it's just an internship job, or it's just an entry level job, and he's not willing to help me. He's not they're not they wanted to train me, and they're so toxic. So I would encourage everybody just to drop that job and just be patient. I prefer move from my city to I don't know how much long is the city where the manager is he's a good person, and the people I'm talking is they're nice people, they're not toxic, they help each other, they're willing to take my hands and work me through, train me, and they're not toxic people. You gotta surround yourself with a good place to work. And if you surround yourself with a toxic place, they're just gonna destroy it, like either mentally or you don't wanna work anymore. And like for me, like the first place, like first time I was talking, like thinking about cybersecurity, like just started seeing like everybody, yeah, let's say movies and cybersecurity stuff on YouTube, and yeah, I was just like trying to look in for what should I learn, what are the requirements, like, and I've been talking to a lot of guys and like telling them some ideas and like that comes to my mind. What they were telling me is that like they weren't like encouraging me. They were saying like you can't do it. Like when I was your age, I've been doing this and this and this, and I didn't do this. Like what they want to do, and like they're just trying to break you down. And when you look around, I haven't seen anybody like great cybersecurity guy and like who drop down like guys. Like every cybersecurity great guy, he always encourage others. He's trying to lift them up and he's trying to help. Like don't listen to anybody, just listen to good great guys. And I'm sure it's really if you find someone like so great at his job and is like not encouraging people. So yeah, that's it.
Fully agree with that sentiment. Thank you very much, Rami. The best people help others, and I think we should all try to be lifting each other up. It's great that we are all trying to do that. And I see that in these sessions as well. We're all giving each other advice, and that's something beautiful, in my opinion. By the way, Ali, feel free to speak, my friend. You don't have to raise your hand. Feel free to speak. This is an open conversation.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
Another thing that I want to mention here is was regarding. Sorry, I forgot it, but let me try to remember that. Oh, it's regarding the technology that is a trick for finding job in cybersecurity, and which is sorting some job vacancies that we have for cybersecurity. Try to catch the keyword and technology that currently company that are using those, and learning about those technology, and that time you can apply for the job. This is a trick that I'm using every time.
That's definitely, yeah, you should definitely do that for every interview. It's important because if you go in there and you don't even know the company you're interviewing for, that would give me the impression that you wouldn't care about us. That's so that's a great advice. Always look up the company, the technologies that they're using. Make sure that you have information before you go in there. It's about everything in life. If you go into anything unprepared, you're probably not doing it correctly. That's my opinion. I know some people are of the opinion MVP and just go, but I'm of the opinion prepare as much as you can and then go in there, because in a way it's like fighting a battle to find a job, and fighting a battle is knowing information about your enemy. That's very important. That's how I look at hacking as well, by the way. By the way, Mr. Travis, hello, how are you doing?
Oh, my mic's on now, right?
Yes, excellent. We can hear you.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm pretty familiar to these Twitter spaces, but anyways, I just wanted to add that I was in IT for 15 years, and man, one thing you got to really display or explain to employers is how you can help business. You need to be a business person. You can be an IT skilled professional. You can know everything about networking and the cloud, but you got to be able to tell businesses how you can help them save money, or how you help them earn money, or projects that you've helped them earn money or save money and made things more secure. It's you got to be a business person. Of course, certifications help. It's just like a degree. It's a piece of paper that helps you get a job. But those experiences are very important. I know a lot of people are just now, getting into the workforce, And so that's basically what I was. I was in IT for 15 years. I got into cybersecurity, and if you want a cybersecurity job, it really, really helps to have IT experience. I'm looking for an Azure security architect. This person doesn't necessarily have to be a cybersecurity professional, but they need to have like 3 years of Azure experience. So, you need to, if you want a cybersecurity job, you need to have some technical experience where you helped your business. And anyways, I appreciate what you guys are doing. And, I'm going to try and follow as many people as I can here, but that's what I'm seeing in the 15 years I've been in IT, and now that I'm recruiting. So thank you.
That's definitely some great advice you gave there. Adding value to a company is the best thing you can do, because if you come in there, hey, I can do this for your company and add this specific value, that's a great thing, of course. And the more specific you can make it, the better. Because, of course, if you come in there with some random thing like, hey, I can make your company better because I'm good at writing software. That's not specific, of course. But if you can come in there and if you can say that you've only been writing 7 bugs in the course of your career, it's a stupid example. I know it's not possible, but let's say something like that. You've only been writing 7 bugs over your whole career. That saves the company a lot of money, of course. And if you like, if you can tell them, for me, it's hard to know a company well enough to tell them exactly how you can save them money, of course, but you can think of generic ways. You can think of generic ways you're good at saving people money. Like if you're a problem solver, if you are somebody who makes the office cheerful, well, then you can bring in more money by upping the productiveness of the office because you're always bringing in cheerfulness. Things like that, the more you can aim in at the company, the better. Great advice, Travis. Thank you very much.
And wonderful ideas, guys. You just gotta make it like cash flow, and it's all about money. Like these CEOs and the bosses, like they don't care about what you're doing. They just care about money. And like if you want to convince someone to do like some finance something for you, when you're talking to them, like don't talk like about like technical like speaks like me and you working with each other, talking like technical. Like forget the word and just talk business with them. And I think like if you're working for a company, I don't know how much. At least you gotta know like how they're getting money. Like you gotta at least have like a basic or more than basic idea about like the business, how they're getting money. So like business the plant, you can like talk with them. You can know like how to convince them, like how this with this like reduce. I don't know, like it's just gonna be in there and. Like it wouldn't be that hard, just like simple study like of the company, how they make money, how their taxes stuff. I don't know, and yeah, that's it. And for me, like I'm studying cybersecurity, like it started being my passion. I really love it, and also I'm studying like I did this stuff on my own, by the way, no college. Yeah,
Awesome.
and also business. Like I'm loving the business. Like I'm not that guy like who. Like being working for money, like you gotta like even educate ourselves like financially, and I study like cyber 10 hours a day from the morning to the nights, and nights I start studying business. Yeah, that's one, like having a combination between like technical stuff and business stuff. That would be like amazing. You can make your own company. You can be like a very successful man, right?
Yeah.
Right, and one thing I wanted to add. Sorry to jump in again.
No,
but
sure.
an interviewer it's a very emotional process. If they're bored talking to you, then they're not going to want to work with you. So bring some emotion. Don't be someone that you're not, but bring some emotion. Just don't get ready to tell them about subnets and all this and that. It's an emotional process for everybody. So, and somebody brought up their LinkedIn page too. They're going to look at your LinkedIn page, and if there's nothing on it, then they're already bored. So that's just a little extra. I gotta have dinner with my kids. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Travis.
Thank you very much. Don't bring up that your cat died, by the way. That's not a good thing to bring up. Um, of course, you can.
That's actually a Vayner VFriends NFT that I owned and just sold. So I gotta change my profile picture.
The first is taking over.
The
Oh, yeah.
cat ate the carony.
We're gonna
Okay.
find a way to hack into it, like find a place in cybersecurity. So like where we go, there's a place for us, cyber guys.
Yeah, that's the future as well. Before I go on to that, Matthew, did you want to add anything? Sorry, we keep interrupting you.
No, you're good. Yeah, I do think like having a good camaraderie with your fellow team members, whether you're on the blue team, red team, purple team, white team, green team, yellow team, you get the idea. I think having like a good relationship not only with like your management team, your peers, will help not only better you but also better the company. And kind of circling back to adding value, that's like really key. Like if you can sell yourself on being able to add value to your company in some form or fashion, I mean that'll make you stand out, and it'll also give you leverage for like bonuses, stuff like that. So like say you rung in this new security deal that was worth a lot of money, and you saved the company a bunch of money and made it more secure. I mean that's ammunition you can take forward with, like, hey, like I deserve a raise. Kind of marketing yourself, like I did this really big cool thing, and I think I deserve more money. So
Yeah, definitely. But again, don't go in like, hey, I've made 3 lines of code, I deserve a raise. Of
You're
course.
fired.
Of course, I totally get that, and I have seen the same. That's why I say this. I have seen people come in saying like, "Hey, I've saved this company a huge amount of money." Well, they were just doing their job. What I think you're saying is, and I totally agree with, is people like me. We do a lot of overtime, and we do that because we want our customers to be happy. And if you can say, "Hey, we got this impossible deadline," that's a different thing, of course. Like our team got the impossible deadline. I think we deserve more than a freaking pizza, okay? That's
definitely
yeah, like and what I
been
want
there, done that, man. I know how it goes.
like yeah, we they say thank you on the next meeting and they order you sandwiches while you're working late and it's like guys, first of all it's sandwiches, at least bring us freaking burgers or pizza or whatever. But second of all, there could be a little. I worked at a bank. They could at least give us a little bit of a bonus. No, we were working very late for weeks on end. But anyway, that's beside the point. What I wanted to say about future jobs as well, and that is what I've been looking into, is that right now we are looking a lot at pen testing jobs, at jobs like SOC engineer, but there's also up and coming jobs like IoT, blockchain, mobile. There's a lot of these applications that needs to be tested as well, and I don't think companies fully realize that they need to be tested this heavily yet. Like, if you're a pen tester and you can do mobile pen testing, I think you have a leg up against a lot of pen testers already. Not a lot of pen testers know mobile, and it's not that hard. You just have to understand some core concepts. But once you get into mobile, you have another thing you can add to your resume which will make you stand out. Of course, IoT and blockchain, that's a different thing if you're interested in blockchain. I've read this really interesting article about cross-site scripting via blockchain. Really interesting. They smuggled the attack vector into the blockchain, and then in a GUI program where it opened, it triggers the attack vector. Really interesting to see. Anyway, besides the point. But for me, just make sure that you have some extras on your resume as well, whether it be desktop application hacking, whether it be mobile hacking, whether it be, I don't know, if you're an expert at Burp Suite, show it. on your resume. Make sure that people know that you're an expert, and don't be shy either. Like if I know you are prone to underestimate yourself. It's easy to do that. I do the same thing. Like, oh, I am at most a little bit okay at Python, but if everything you know looks normal to you, it's as simple as that. It looks normal to you, but it might not look normal to other people. That's something you have to keep in mind. I'm sorry, Ryan. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hey everyone, I'm doing really good. And I love all the advice that you guys have been giving on here. And I can't personally stress how important it is to start networking. So a couple days ago, well, actually, let's go back. So a year ago, I graduated with a degree in cybersecurity. And for this basically entire year, I've been trying and trying and trying to get a job in cybersecurity. And it has been very stressful, really frustrating,
I can imagine.
very sad. But we actually have a family friend who works in cybersecurity. And so I recently reached out to him and I was like, hey man, is your company hiring, or do you know anybody who's hiring? And so we met up and we kind of talked a little bit. And then he eventually reached out because his company wasn't hiring anybody, unfortunately, but he actually had a friend who was hiring. And so I actually just today got a job interview with them finally after a year of trying. And so I actually just got accepted for a second interview. So I'm really excited. But this wasn't a job that was just online. This was a job that was kind of just on their website. So I think it's really important to reach out to people. And people know other people in this industry. And they're always out looking for people. And this job is a junior position. So I'm really excited to kind of get my feet into the space. But yeah, I can't stress enough how important it is to start reaching out to people.
I wish you good luck, Ryan.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Congratulations. Keep it up, buddy.
That's awesome, my friend. I think you're gonna do amazing. I love to hear that. And like you say, exactly, networking is extremely important. My very first job when I came out of school is because my dad is a construction worker and he was building a few buildings for this person who owned a big company, IT software. And I worked there. That was my first job as a IT developer straight out of high school. My second job I got myself. That was from, I also knew that guy because I was fixing up computers in my free time, which I did for absolutely nothing because I got like 10 euros, but it was like 9 euros for the gas driving there, so it wasn't even worth the trouble. Did it anyway, got to learn the guy, get to know the guy, and I was started working for him about a year later. And then everything went bankrupt. He went bankrupt. Whole story. I will tell you guys that later on. Police got involved. I got questioned by the police. If you guys ever want to hear that story, let me know. I'll be happy to tell you. Anyway, I found another job after that myself. But my first job getting into this was all because of my parents. So networking is very important. My second job was because I knew that guy. And my third job, because it was network, because just normal, but then I got to know somebody at that work, somebody at an assignment at a client, and that guy, I wanted to start working for him again, networking. So, bam, my fourth job was again networking. I did a lot of networking to get to where I am right now. And I'm lucky that I get along with most people. I don't, I love people, to be honest. I love talking to them and I love working with them. Not everybody has the same feelings, of course.
That's so important because, you know, a word of advice to those of you who are new to the job market, you know, you're just out of college or you're just studying, you know, networking seems overwhelming, and depending on where you're from, sometimes it feels hopeless. You know, if you're sitting on this space and you're saying, you know, I live in a really remote area of the world or an area around me, I don't know anybody around, you know, it seems like there just isn't, you know, there aren't those resources. You don't have parents that know people or some other specific situation. That's not really the point. The idea is you're here. You're surrounded by a lot of other people in the industry right now. They may not be next to you, but you're there. And the one word of advice is that, when you're interacting with people on here, treat every single person with respect. Do not burn any bridges. It doesn't mean you'll never have any issues, but I've had many clients in the past, and it's bound to happen. Some of them, things happen, and some of them are nasty. Coworkers can be nasty. Bosses or employees can be nasty. But if you generally handle situations without a temper, you treat people with respect, you never know what kinds of opportunities come to you later. Because I can tell you with utmost certainty, I don't care where you're from in the world, but if you're known as the person who stomped off your last job, or you sabotaged something, or you flipped out and people were, really turned off by the way you handled, being rejected from a job or being fired, it happens. That's something that carries with you. The word carries with you. You will find people that, they could be people in this space that you didn't think you'd have any connection with, or past clients that it didn't work out. And then when you're in need, they're going to remember that you treated them with respect. They're going to remember what kind of person you are. And even if things didn't work out with them, they'd be willing to recommend you to somebody else. So, really carry that with you and think about that as you go through and talk to, people on here, people in your towns, in your cities, in your countries, and, wherever you're from. The person you're speaking to in the immediate may not immediately be able to help you, but if they know a little bit about you and they know that you're, somebody that somebody would want to hire, they're going to think of you. And again, it's just a small tidbit to add in there.
Great point.
Yeah, eventually you never know who you're talking to, because the guy on the street in the sloppy clothes might be a CEO of a big company. It's like I've talked to people who I expected was the janitor, but turned out to be some big kind of manager walking around. And I always treat people with respect. And for some reason, some people, especially at bigger companies, have gotten it in their heads that they can treat people who are below them with disrespect. But I hate the fact that they even see other people as people below them. That's something terrible, in my opinion.
That's it. There's another point, I want to mention, guys. It's kind of advice, for me and for anybody, just it's first time, or he's getting a job in cyber, hitting you to the new job industry, and it's I think I don't need to mention this part, of the part of being competent about your position, and because most cybersecurity guys they're not competent, they always learn, they always gonna keep up with the technology and stuff. So yeah, so this point is done. For cybersecurity guys, they're always learning, and the thing is when you you're working in a company, let's say in branding company, and let's say I'm the dumbest guy in there, everybody is better than me, and that's perfect. For me, that's perfect, because you're always gonna find who's you're gonna get experience from, who's gonna learn from. But at some point, when the great guys, I don't know, they finish their time, and at some point you became the smartest guy in the room. You devote yourself, you work on yourself very hard every night, and at some point you're gonna be the smartest guy in the room. Maybe, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, that depends. So the most of your job is gonna be just mentorship, helping others who's juniors, who's new, and at some point you're gonna just, if you wanna level up and like for me, I don't like staying in the same position for so long. I always like leveling up, like always get better and level up, level up. Like there's no limits for me, and like maybe apply for another company who like petition. You're not gonna be the smartest guy, or like there are so much guys like so much better than you, and that's the point I want to mention here. Like, do not stay for when you're the smartest guy in the room. Do not stay there for so too long. You may give some mentorship, help others, and at some point change. Like gotta change to another place, and yeah, or maybe start your own business. Like everybody has his life, his mindset. You can like work and have a business at the same time. Yeah, for me, I'm thinking about that. Like this is like kind of surf time management business mindset. Like everybody like has his way of handling stuff, but like do not try to be the smartest guy. Always look for places where you're not the smartest guy. That's it.
Definitely. And like you say, like even if no matter how smart you are, you're never the smartest guy in the room. There's always somebody smarter than you, but that's okay because I think we should not compare ourselves to other people. We should compare ourselves to yesterday. And that's something important because in companies, I worked at a company where the developers were miles ahead of my skill level. And it kind of, I felt like a freaking noob, to be honest, when I look at these people and I want to work with them. If they tell me to make an automation test, they do it like magic, like da 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 da. Here's your automation test, and I make this and I make that, and in my Jupyter notebook like it's nothing, blah blah blah. I have to look up every single step of the way, and that hurts me. But it shouldn't because I am not the same person as them. I haven't been gotten the same opportunities. I've been studying different things. So it all depends on what you have and your unique qualities. And if you show them in a job interview and in your resume, you're also more likely to stand out. Like, hey, this is me, this is my unique quality, and this is how it can help your company make more money. That's something that's, like we said before, that you should always aim for. Anyway, my friends, it's getting quite late here. It's 1:15, so I'm gonna leave this session right here. Thank you all very much for joining. I really appreciated it. And I think we're gonna hold the next session on the OWASP top 10 because we still have to finish 7 through 10, of course.
I hate them, buddy.
Thanks, Uncle cybersecurity. Good night. Take care.
Thank you so much,
Thank
my
you, guys.
friends. Thank you,
So happy to
everybody.
know you all,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye.
You're
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks,
amazing.
everybody.
Bye, amazing hackers.
So wonderful
Bye, all.
talking to
Thanks
you.
for.
All right, my friends on YouTube, thank you so much for listening as well. I'm gonna end the stream right here. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Mr. Aman Pamar, I'm going to look into what's wrong with your account, and then we're going to hopefully fix that because we want to get everybody on Discord, of course. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I love the fact that everybody was here, and I hope you have a great day or evening or night or whatever